Razaban if IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. Delighted to have with me on Zoom Fabio Wardley. Fabio, it's been a minute. How we doing, mate?
It's been a while, mate. It's been a while. Do we ever actually do face-to-faces, or do we only ever do Zooms?
I swear, like, obviously I've bumped into you a number of times at events and shows, and I don't think we've ever done a face-to-face.
We just do Zooms, don't
We
we?
just do Zooms.
Fine. Fuck it. It is what it is.
We have that relationship over Zoom, I think. I don't think we can conduct ourselves professionally when we're together.
Yeah, that's the one. That's what it is.
How we doing?
Good, mate. Yeah, good. Feeling tanned. Back from a quick holiday. Soaked up a bit of sun. So ready to roll, mate. Ready to get back in the mix.
What is the current kind of status update with you in terms of coming back out in the ring?
End of the year. Late end of the year will be November, December time, something like that. Obviously, it's been confirmed for me, Nathan Gorman, for the British title. That's all done, signed, sealed. In terms of a date and the other little details, they still need to be worked out. But for the most part, that's all locked in. So that's the next one for me. I don't know if Nathan might have a little something on the interim. He might do something on the in between. But I'm just training through and through.
Is that a DAZN fight?
Yeah, DAZN and Matchroom. So partnership obviously with Wasserman, but DAZN and Matchroom.
Do you feel like this is now the first test, the first stage of the stage? Obviously, there's many stages, European and world, but do you feel like this is what you've done so far is that enough for you to be successful in this stage?
Yeah, that's what this is, almost not the acid test, because I've had a few other different tests, but this is the one to see, okay, let's see what he really has. Let's see what he's really got in the bank. Let's see what in situations he can really deal with and how far he can really go. That a lot of that depends on how well, how easily, maybe even how hard I deal with someone like Nathan Gorman. So yeah, this is kind of the first big one to see, is he ready to step into that new level?
We know Nathan was with Frank Warren for a period of time. Obviously, he then went and took that loss to Daniel Dubois. He's gone away, recovered, come back. What have you made of him so far during his career?
During the Frank Warren section of his career was a very good section of his career. He was having some good wins. He was in a really good place. He was fighting quite a bit. It was always a little bit difficult because he was always a little bit in Daniel's shadow. It was always quite obvious that Frank kind of had Daniel as like the star boy, the one to kind of headline the brand, as it were, which is a shame because now Nathan's a talented fighter. So maybe he didn't get always the limelight that he should have, but he's a very good, solid, well-rounded fighter.
Interesting, yeah. I think that's a great fight for the British fans. It's what we want to see. You know, British dust-ups, not marinated for 20,000 years, but taking place quite soon. And when both fighters are young and fresh, and fighters can come again if they lose.
Yeah, of course. And Nathan's a prime example of that. He had his British title shot against Daniel, lost, came back. He's had a few fights and he's got another go at it. So, like, if, God forbid, the same happens to me, it doesn't mean I'm over or done for. I can just go again. It's just, we're seeing that stigma of that and done isn't gone, but it's definitely fading a lot more now. You're seeing a lot more losses and people coming back and then winning and getting themselves back in, and people are jumping straight back behind them. So it's good either way.
It does remind me of the early James DeGale, George Groves, that fantastic rivalry where they had a great fight and then George won, DeGale lost, but DeGale actually ended up becoming a world champion before Groves did.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny how it can work out sometimes, because a loss can spur you on even maybe to take a bigger, a harder fight and just really throw yourself in the mix, and then you win that, and then next thing you know, you're 2 or 3 steps ahead of the person you even lost to. So there's a lot of situations this could end up in for either of us.
Obviously, Fabio, the reason I asked to do a Zoom, it's a big fight week in the heavyweight division. A man you've shared the ring with outside of a professional fight. Obviously, we know you sparred Anthony Joshua, Alexander Usyk. Both men went face to face for the second last time ahead of the weigh-in, which is on Friday. What do you think? Everyone I speak to is like a bit left, a bit right. Some are more Usyk. Some are saying you should support your Brit. What's your stance?
Yeah, that's always my initial stance. Is you should support, or whether you should or whatever. But I always lean towards supporting my Brit. I want AJ to win. He's a Brit. I want him to bring that belt back. He's done a lot for boxing. I think he deserves to have hold of that belt. But does my heart and brain think he actually will? Is a different question entirely. There's a lot of factors going into it. With Usyk and how he's looking, he looks great, but obviously with everything that is horrible that's going on in Ukraine, mentally, is he in the right place? Has he been able to have the right training camp? Who knows? AJ with a new trainer, has he had long enough to implement them new things? Does he have doubts in himself? There's just so many little bits that can play off each other. It's probably why you're getting so many responses of people saying, oh, I think a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
Do you feel like everything that you just mentioned is almost irrelevant because when you're under those lights and it's just you two, there's no you're zoned into each other. What happens on the night, especially in the heavyweight division?
Yeah, massively. I do think it is, but it's that those little bits are the whole point. And we do this, are those little talking points, just to play around with the ideas of give it a reason as to why maybe Usyk started really slow, or was he not mentally there, or was why did Joshua keep getting clipped with the same shot? Was he not listening to his trainer properly? We find those little things for ourselves when realistically in that ring, not much matters. It's a very simple engagement of just me versus you. How much do you want it? How much do I want it? Have you trained harder than me? Have I trained harder than you? There's very small factors, really.
Would you say a victory for either fighter comes in the form of either a Joshua stoppage or Usyk points, or do you think the reverse could happen as well?
I don't think Joshua can outpoint him. I do think there is the possibility of Usyk stopping him, but not like a Deontay Wilder-esque clean you out kind of stoppage. I think a purely a fatigue stoppage of wearing through and him and Usyk just unloading combination punch after go, which you saw in the last fight. That in literally the last 30 seconds, if there was another minute and a half to that round, he could have taken a knee. The ref could have jumped in the middle. So you could see a possibility of a situation like that happening again.
Johnny Nelson made some comments this week where he got a bit of backlash, where he said that Anthony Joshua, if he loses, could walk from the game, could retire. Now, to give some context around that, what he was trying to say was that he wouldn't want to play second fiddle. You know, Anthony Joshua's been at the top level of the boxing. We know if Usyk wins, those belts can get fragmented, or Joyce is close to a mandatory. So is Dubois. So he might not want to just fight people for the sake of. He wants to be right at the top. What did you make of those comments?
Yeah, that's fair. I think with Johnny, the thing is with Johnny, he said some outrageous things in the past now. So then when he says something that's maybe just a little bit on the line, but you need more context to understand it, people just jump on it straight away and go, oh, Johnny's doing the same old thing again of saying something outrageous. I don't think that's particularly left field. I think he does have a point in saying that Joshua's won the world title twice. He's earned a shitload of money. Maybe just go, you know what? I had my go. I'm good. I'm intact. I'm healthy. I'm cognitive. I've got everything. Why do I keep putting my life on the line? Like, what for? Like, I'm good. It's no problem. There's no shame in that either. Like, so I think that's more so kind of what Johnny was getting at, but the way sometimes he delivers stuff doesn't come across like that.
No, absolutely. Final prediction: what happens on the night?
Someone wins.
Of course, well, someone might not win because it might be a draw.
That is true. I'm not sure. I think I would still back Usyk to win. Like I said, I think he looks in great shape. I think especially with the Ukraine thing behind him, I think that gives him double focus, more to fight for, more to really because you've seen him all the way through Fight Week. He's had the Colours of Freedom top on the whole time. You saw at the press today, he was singing away. It wasn't the national anthem, but it was a freedom song of Ukraine and stuff. So I really think he's really carrying that weight. And I say weight, but I don't mean it as a weight. I mean it is inspiration, it's encouragement. And I think maybe in situations where it might get a bit rough and tough, I think that might carry him through.
Fury retired? Is he staying retired for the 434th time?
Oh, mate, who fucking knows? I ain't got a clue, mate. Is he retired? He retired the other day, and then he did a video the next day calling out Chisora, and then he said, actually, you know what? I'm done. This is it. Oh, retirement life. I'm eating chicken dippers and chips. And then the next day, he was on like a 10K run with Joseph Parker. Like, what is he doing? Who knows? Like, I think we all, especially people in boxing, are well aware until it's like you see it done and dusted kind of thing. Just, I don't think most of us believe really a word he says in that sense, anyways, of what he's planning to do with himself in his career.
Do you feel like that the fact that the Ring magazine have acted quickly and taken the belt back and obviously put it on the line for Usyk Joshua is more of a stronger sign that he might not come back, if I may use the word stronger?
Yeah, I think so. But I think also if he does come back, he'd come back for the winner of that fight. So I don't think he's too fussed. He'd just go, okay, have that, fine. I'll get it back when I decide to come back. Like it would be his mentality, is what I think. But I think it's good for them. I think other governing body, well, WBC have given him, I think, a week or 10 days, can't remember how long. So it's nice that no one's just sitting and waiting for him to dictate. It's people giving him deadlines and making it so, because otherwise it just gets stagnated. If you can't just sit on a belt and go, I've retired, and then he still gets to hold on to the belt, that's a joke for boxing. It's unfair on those that are fighting, working, chasing their dream. He's holding them up for no reason. So it's good that it's nice to see that different governing bodies are making the moves.
A man's name you just mentioned, Joseph Parker, announced takes on Joyce in another great heavyweight fight, a clash of styles on Queensberry Frank Warren show, September 24th in Manchester. Another tough one to pick.
Not so much, maybe. I think Joe.
Which one?
I do. I think Joe. And that's not. Oh, well, yeah. Which one? Sorry, Joe Joyce. I think Joe Joyce. I just think he's too much. I don't know if Parker, because even with the Chisora fight, Parker didn't look $1 million, and it's also difficult to look great against Chisora, but there was moments in that fight where he could have finished him, could have cleaned him, could have got rid of him, could have got him out relatively early, and didn't have that killer instinct, that bit to get rid of him. And we've seen the worst thing you want to do with Joe Joyce is carry it out, is go further, is go rounds, because he's not going to slow. He might even get stronger throughout the rounds. And for someone like Joseph Parker, who can't seem to finish his dinner in that sense, that's dangerous.
No, absolutely. We look forward to that fight. But obviously before then, Joshua Usyk this Saturday, live and exclusive on Sky Sports pay-per-view. It's a great fight for the fans, and it'll open up the division even more, hopefully. We don't like rematches either sometimes, especially immediate. But yeah, Fabio, thank you for giving me a little bit of your time, my man. And yeah, let's hope and pray that our next one is face to face.
Definitely, mate. Always a good time. I'll catch you soon.
Fabio Wardley, IFL TV, thank you very much.
Cheers, bro. I've punched him a few more times.
5 blokes outside my front door. Can you come and help
One
me?
hell of a fucking story, so stay tuned.
Welcome, Team Everlast, to the Team Everlast Fitness app. Download the Everlast Fitness app and find your greatness within.